What's up, my brothers in Christ? I'm sorry for the delay. It's been a heck of a week. Does anybody like their job? What's that like? Um, let's do a quick recap and then we'll do a quick view on this week. Last week, let's pull up these picks. Last week, I know this is why y'all are really here. We went 5-1 on the picks last week. Only one we got wrong was this guy. I picked myself as an upset over Jason. Got that one wrong. I did pick Fat over Dan. Got that one right. Got Marshall over Scott. Got that one right. Marshall was the lock last week. Did I say next this week? Might be the lock this week too. JT over Joe Dan. Spelled his name wrong. My bad, dog. Um, got that one right. And Brent over Trent. Battle of the Rents. Brent's keeping it. Last matchup of the week was Alex versus Frank, and Alex won that matchup as well. So 5-1 on the picks, 9-3 year to date, 2-0 on the locks, 1-1 on crying cat face emoji upsets. Week 3 pick'ems. I'm just gonna do the what I picked, and then we'll go look at the matchups. Week 3, we got Fat over Lando. We're projecting the champ has a hill to climb. Marshall over Dan. Guess what? Marshall, you're the lock of the week again. Fuck it. Scott over Jason. Trent over Jordan. Alex over JT. Brent over Frank. Now, let's go look at the matchups. See if I made the right calls on some of these. Fat and myself, fast projected 143 to 123. His top projections are Brees Hall, Jordan Mason, Ramondre Stevenson. My boys running back heavy. On my side, my top projected are a bunch of 5'9" dudes. We got Devon Achane, Kyler Murray, and then interestingly Jerome Ford, a third in projected leaders. So overall, let's pull up the whole matchup. Why not? We got nothing but time till we don't. Fat's got a pretty good stable of running backs. Wide receivers are a little weird, but Devontae Adams is looking pretty good. He's looking like a Hall of Famer. Crazy. I think Fat has the edge on running backs. I think tight end is kind of a coin toss. I do think I have the edge on wide receivers with Wilson, Neighbors, and Waddle. Quarterback, I think you could also, I guess, yeah, I say coin toss as well. Joe Burrow's facing Washington. Kyler Murray's facing the Lions. Um, I'm hoping to be in it, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, I picked Fat. So, next matchup, we've got, dang it, I said I would do this, guys. My bad. Fat's 2-0 on the year. I am 0-2 on the year. So, next matchup, we got Marshall. He's 2-0. He's facing Dan. He's 0-2. Don't worry, I'm in your boat. Dan, he's got Dak Prescott at Baltimore, Chuba Hubbard at the Raiders, J.K. Dobbins at Pittsburgh, CeeDee Lamb is questionable. Baltimore, I think it was a hamstring, not sure. Devontae Smith at New Orleans. Evan Ingram, also questionable. I think he missed last week, not 100% there. Dan, shoot a message in the chat, let us know. And then he's flexing Marvin Harrison Jr. Marshall, he's got waiver wire Baker Mayfield, top 10 quarterback. Saquon Baker's playing Denver. Saquon's at New Orleans. Kyron Williams versus the Niners. Nico Collins, questionable at the Vikings. Zay Flowers at Dallas. Kyle Pitts versus Kansas City. And Devin Singletary at Cleveland. I already picked Marshall, so, that's what we got. Lock of the week. I like it. They both have their best wide receivers questionable, so we'll see what happens. If one sits and one starts, that may change the outcome of the match. But right now, I like what I see on Marshall's side. Next matchup, we got Scott. He's 1-1. versus Jason, who's 1-1. Jason's got Brock Purdy at the Rams, Jahmyr Gibbs at Arizona, James Cook versus the Jaguars, Drake London versus the Chiefs, Chris Godwin versus Denver, David Njoku, who is questionable, versus the Giants, and Bijan Robinson versus the Chiefs. Scott's side, we've got Patrick Mahomes at Atlanta, Josh Jacobs at Tennessee, questionable. I think he's been questionable all season. I mean, the guy just had, I think, 32 carries last week. So I'd be dead, so being questionable is not too bad. Tony Pollard versus Green Bay. Stephon Diggs at Minnesota, revenge game. Ladd McConkey at Pittsburgh. George Kittle at the Rams. He's also questionable. So that's interesting there. And George Pickens in the flex. I picked Scott over Jason. I will say if Kittle and if Jacobs doesn't play, I think that's going to sway in Jason's favor. If Jacobs and Kittle don't play, it's going to be a rough day for my boy Scott. He's already got McCaffrey on the IR, so makes it a little tough to make adjustments there. But for now, we're assuming they're playing. We're going to roll with Scotty. Next matchup, Jordan versus Trent. Battle of the Shiva Bowl, perhaps. 0-2 versus 0-2. Josh Allen versus Trent has Josh Allen versus Jacksonville. He's got DeAndre Swift at Indianapolis. Jalen Warren versus the Chargers. Justin Jefferson, questionable versus Houston. Chris Olave versus Philly. Trey McBride versus Detroit. Deontay Johnson at the Raiders. Jordan's side. Let me make sure. Who the heck did I pick? Okay. All right. I picked Trent over Jordan. You'll see in a second why I'm thinking so. CJ Stroud at the Vikings. He currently has Isaiah Pacheco, who was on IR at Atlanta, so he's not going to be playing him, assuming Aaron Jones, who's currently in his flex, will move up there. If I had to guess, I know who I would be putting in on his bench. We'll go through it here. Rachaad White is questionable. He's playing Denver. Amon-Ra St. Brown at Arizona. DJ Moore at Indianapolis. Colby Parkinson playing in the Niners. And then Aaron Jones, who's currently in the flex place, said I think he's going to move up to replace Pacheco. And then he's probably going to start JSN, Jackson Smith-Njigba, which, why not? The guy just went off last week. So I actually think this will be a pretty close game. I could see this go either way, but sticking with Trent for now. Next matchup, Alex versus JT. Super Bowl preview. Madden Bowl preview, I guess I should say. 2-0 versus 2-0. JT, he's got Jalen Hurts at New Orleans. Joe Mixon, questionable at Minnesota. Brian Robinson at Cincinnati. Rashid Shaheed versus Philadelphia, not Pittsburgh, Philly. Brandon Ayuk at the Rams. Travis Kelce at Atlanta. Zach Moss versus Washington. And on Alex's side, pardon me, Jaden Daniels at Cincinnati. Jonathan Taylor versus Chicago. Derrick Henry at Dallas. Mike Evans versus Denver. Xavier Worthy at Atlanta. Sam Laporta at Arizona. David Montgomery at Arizona. A lot of Arizona. I just realized this 8-11. I know I did, but let me just make sure that I set my lineups. I think I did. Okay, we're good. It's only the 1000th time I look at the lineup this week. Yeah, you guys ever get that feeling? You haven't looked at your lineup in like the last 20 minutes and the game's coming on. Did I set my lineup? Of course you did. Last matchup for the week, Frank versus Brent. We got Frank at 0-2, Brent at 2-0. Brent's got Lamar Jackson at Dallas, Alvin Kamara versus Philly, Najee Harris versus Chargers, Tyreek Hill at Seattle, Jerry Jeudy versus the Giants, Brock Bowers versus Carolina, Zamir White versus Carolina, And on Frank's side, we got Derek Carr versus Philly, Travis Etienne at Buffalo, Ken Walker the third questionable playing Miami. From what I saw, I don't know if he's playing. Jamar Chase, but what do I know? I just follow sports doctors on X. I don't know if they're real doctors. Uh, I'm just kidding. I don't do that. You guys shouldn't do that. Jamar Chase versus Washington. Tank Dell at Minnesota. Mike Gesicki versus Washington. James Cook versus Detroit. Let's see. If we look at Frank's bench, he's got a couple options: Austin Eckler or Gus Edwards. So he'll have somebody to play, I think, because I think Frank may have started Walker last week, and I don't think he played. So Frank, check your lineup. But yeah, we picked Brent on that one. Forgot to. I don't know if I mentioned these, but Marshall is a lock back to back, just like the ding-a-ling, you know. Um, Upset of the week, we're going Alex over JT. It's not really that big of an upset on here. I think it's within a point, but he is the underdog, so I'm picking him. Those are the matches for the week. I know it wasn't my best performance. I'll do better, guys. Next time. Bad curse. Love y'all. Guys,